Welcome to Lufthansa's brand new Allegris first class. This is the biggest upgrade to the European aviation industry in years. Today, I'm going to be one of the first people in the world to experience Lufthansa's brand new Allegris first class on a 9-hour flight where I will put everything to the test. This is now one of the world's biggest and most private airplane seats, and the price reflects that. How much did I pay? How does it compare to the likes of Emirates Game Changer and Singapore Airlines first class suites? What about Air France La Première? Join me, Dan, the luckiest guy in the world who's living my dream of sharing my flying experience with you guys as I travel around the world. I've been reviewing airlines for over a decade, and I've been lucky to fly every major European first class. As usual, my flight is entirely self-funded with no involvement from Lufthansa whatsoever, so I can share my brutally honest take on the Allegris first class experience. Good morning. I'm in the Lufthansa first class lounge here in Munich. I'm not going to show you around it today because I already did an extensive tour in a video less than 2 years ago, and you can check that out in the card now if you're curious, because today's video is mainly about this new seat. I just have to say though, I had an amazing time in the lounge. It's pretty hard not to because Lufthansa's first class lounges are awesome. There are only 4 first class seats and they all seem to be sold out today on this flight, so wish me luck recording. I'm a little stressed, but what's new? As I record this, it has been less than a week since Lufthansa started selling their brand new first class, so I can't believe I'm going to be one of the first people in the world to experience it, but it didn't come cheap, and I'm going to talk more about that later in the video. So are you guys ready? I'm ready. Let's hop on board, but first, let's check out the seat map. Lufthansa's latest Airbus A350s come in a 4-class configuration and are oh so intriguing. We've got 24 premium economy seats back here in a noteworthy 232 layout compared to the more common 242 layout most airlines have in their A350 premium economy. In business, we have the #1 product I am dying to try, Lufthansa Allegris business class, 38 of those seats to be exact, and then at the very front we have a single row with 3 to 4 seats. What do I mean by 3 to 4? The middle can be used either by a single passenger or by 2 people flying together. This concept has been extremely controversial for reasons I'll share on board, but it basically means we have a mega suite here in the middle, which Lufthansa charges a lot extra for. I'm talking thousands of euros extra per flight to assign. As you can tell, the actual best seat and deal for a solo traveler is sitting in 1 kilo on the right side of the cabin. That's because you have the entire aisle to yourself here, while my seat, 1 Alpha, shares the aisle with the center suite. Big problem, I know. How will we survive? Well, let's hop on board and see if it's bearable. Here she is, our A350 registered Delta Alpha X-Ray Whiskey. So beautiful, just a few months old. I mean, look at her. She'll be flying us all the way to Bangalore, India today, over Europe, the Middle East, and the Indian Ocean. All right, let's do this. I think I'm the first on board, which is good news. Here we go, moment of truth. First, I have to tease you all with this. My first ever real-life peek into Lufthansa Allegris business class. The most chaotically launched business class in aviation history. Only 7 years delayed, but gosh, I cannot wait to try this. Not gonna lie though, first class is in another league altogether. Welcome on board. Hello. This is crazy. Proceeds to have my glasses fall apart in my bare hands. All right, it's giving I used all my money on Lufthansa first class, so I had to buy discount dollar store frames. What's not giving discount is this spread of amenities that we get. Let's go over those after takeoff, but can we just take a second to hold space for this amenity kit? The crew insists I have some champagne, but doctor's orders say no for me at the moment, so instead I indulge in water. It's gonna be a wild night, that's for show. But look how nicely everything is served. Excuse me, hot towel with a rose petal? Wow, let's smell it. No smell, but hello. Also, I cannot think of a better pre-departure snack than Kalamata olives. My favorite olive in the world, and macadamia nuts. I just have to sit here for a moment, taking everything in. The captain comes to welcome me on board personally and tells me that I'm the only passenger in first class today. More on that later. This is a good start, guys. Before I know it, we're pushing back and taking off. If time flies fast in any first class, it flies even faster when you're trying to take everything in an entirely new seat that you've never watched or read anyone's reviews of before. All right, let me show you around the seat. This is not going to be a short tour because I'm going to try to show you all the features as well as I can. First of all, we have a massive ottoman that doubles as a buddy seat with an adjustable backrest if you want to dine with someone else. It also doubles as your storage because when you raise it up, it can fit even the biggest carry-ons. Above that on the side, we have a closet where you can hang jackets. Plus, it offers a full-size mirror, which is pretty sick, right? Further back on my right, we have our not-so-functional tablet, more on that problem later. And then on the left, we have seat controls, a lamp, some storage, and charging with a power port, a 60-watt USB-C port, and wireless. I love that they kept their iconic red rose as well. So, we also have our two massive menus today, which we should check out in a second. I'm just a bit overwhelmed, to be honest. I'm like scouring the whole seat, and it is just so impressive. How about we close our little doors? And I don't know if I would call these doors, it's basically fabric. It reminds me kind of KLM's business class door, but it does make it very private, as you can see. You see here how just by pushing, they kind of go like this. Again, let me point out that Lufthansa has no involvement in this video. I used to be the biggest Lufthansa fanboy as a teenager, and then the past few years, I've become more of a Lufthansa hater. So I guess with this flight, I'm re-entering my fan era, at least in first class. It's hard not to be a fan of this experience, though, let's be honest. Anyway, come with me to pop across the cabin to 1 kilo, the best seat, so I can show you just how private this is given the complete wall across the aisle. Who needs a door here, really? Vielen Dank, Carstenspor, du hast done good mit diese Sitzen. So my seat is obviously awesome. People aren't concerned about it. There are no controversies, but that cannot be said for the seat in the middle, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. Okay, before that, we need to talk about a problem that a lot of travelers face, especially me, because I forget to drink. That problem is dehydration, because did you know that cabin humidity on most flights is between 10 and 20%? And the one thing that's worse in a premium cabin is that the air is even drier here because there's less people breathing out, humidifying the cabins with their breath. Kind of gross, right? That contributes to making me and you feel fatigued, sluggish, and so dry. But that is where today's video sponsor, Element, comes in. Element is a zero sugar electrolyte drink mix designed to help you hydrate smarter, not harder. Each pack delivers a science-backed dose of electrolytes, 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And just as important is what it doesn't have. No sugar, no artificial colors, and no other bad stuff. Element is a game changer for travelers. Just pack a few of these in your carry-on and you'll be much more ready to tackle whatever your flight or your destination has in store for you. Plus, they taste delicious. If they weren't, do you really think Olympic athletes, Navy SEALs, and health experts would all be using Element? Right now, Element is offering a free sample pack with any purchase at drinkelement.com/nonstopdan. If you don't love it, they'll even refund your order, no questions asked. You can access it at the QR code or at the link at the top of the description. Give it a try. You will not regret it. So, welcome to the infamous middle, well, not infamous, but the much discussed middle suite here in Allegris first class. Why has this been so contentious? Well, if you look behind me, there's actually technically two seats here. There's two sets of seat belts. So this seat is made either for one person to enjoy or for two people, which would be a couple because you wouldn't be sitting here with a stranger. So let's look into how that works. So I need to start by acknowledging that if you're traveling alone and you get this seat, it is the best seat in this cabin by far because it is absolutely massive. You could probably fit 10 people in here. And by the way, this, I believe, based on sitting here, is now the biggest first class seat, if you're alone, again, on any non-A380 in the world. I also want to add that the noise level is noticeably lower in this middle seat than in the window seats. Also, I'm so happy I'm alone so I can easily show you guys this. Again, I'll explain how I ended up being the only person even though the cabin was sold out shortly. Hint, I had everyone kicked off. Just kidding. Or am I? Now, where things get a little strange is if you're traveling with someone else, this is definitely still spacious enough. You know, if I scooted over here, imagine OSKAR is here, there would be plenty of space, but really the seat is clearly only made for one person, because if you look around, there's one power port, not two. There's one entertainment screen, which is wild because that means you both have to agree on what you want to watch and be watching at the same time. Then there's also no armrest here in the middle, so if someone wants to sit and work, that could be a challenge as well. There's also, by the looks of it, only one tray table, which is really confusing me because then what if one wants to work and one wants to sleep? What do? Also, we'll check out when this turns into a bed a little later what that is like. We do have two tablets, one on each side, so these little tablets that disconnect. However, this is obviously not the same as having a huge entertainment screen. And lastly, there's not the same amount of storage per person as you'd have in the window seats. So down here where we would put our suitcases and up here to the side where we have our little closet, it's just a little bit more space than you have in the solo seats by the windows. Things get even more confusing when you factor in the bizarre pricing of this center seat. At the time of the launch of Lufthansa Allegris First Class, Lufthansa actually wants a premium for people to sit in the middle. Instead, what I think they should do, what they're probably going to end up doing, is offer a couples deal. So if you book 2 tickets in Allegris First Class, you get a discount. Perhaps you both get a saver first class fare, or perhaps there's some sort of bundle where, let's say, a first class ticket from Europe to New York in Lufthansa Allegris costs 10,000 euros for one person. If you want to add a second and sit in the middle seat, it's about 15,000. I think that would be an adequate saving to make it worth it and make it quite an attractive deal. But at the moment, there's no reason anyone should choose to sit in the middle and be restricted by someone sitting blocking the aisle, or only having one screen, or only having one charging port, one closet, not enough space for all your bags. I could go on. It's an amazing seat for one person, but for two, there needs to be an attractive deal. Those examples of 10 to 15,000 euros were a bit extreme and certainly aren't an attractive deal. But my point is that an approximate 50% discount on the second ticket would make this a seat worth seeking out. And by the way, I found out you can recline one seat separately so the other person can sleep, but that presents a whole series of other problems like the tray table becoming unusable for the other person. Now, are you ready for the most spectacular meal I have ever had on Lufthansa? First of all, our menu is clearly heavily influenced by our destination today, which is a great thing in this case. The beverage list maybe isn't my cup of, not tea because I like tea, my cup of whiskey. I would love to see some of their awesome non-alcoholic drinks from the lounge make their way on board, like ginger beer and kombucha. I know I'm in the extreme minority when I say that, but I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, so I'm starting out with some decaf coffee with Oatly, and I love that they serve it in this little thing. Nice start, and now you know you can drink hot beverages on a brand new aircraft like this, and the water won't be from some disgusting tank. And a little amuse-bouche. Let me amuse my bouche with this. I feel like this is not meant to be eaten in one bite, but they don't give you a knife. Wow, the hummus is incredible. And let's make our little coffee. What's that TikTok sound? Milking the oats live on Nonstop Dan. Literally this entire time I'm recording, I cannot get abracadabra out of my head. And this coffee is very European strong, which is amazing. Also, Venci, very nice brand. You can buy it in Italy around the world or in Venci stores. Ready to have your socks blown off? Oh my gosh. This is no joke. I've never received this much food just for an appetizer on a flight before. I am very concerned about how I'm going to be able to finish this. Here at the bottom, we have 3 of my special meal appetizers, and at the top, we have 3 of the ones from the menu: the salad, the avocado dish, and the carrot dish. They all look delicious, but to be honest, I feel like my special meal vegan ones look more delicious. than the regular ones, which is really awesome. Taste test time. So this first one is, no idea what this is, maybe bulgur. Okay, to be honest, 3 out of 10. 7 out of 10, middle bottom dish. This looks nice, whatever this is. Well, 8 or 9 out of 10. This is so bizarre. What is my life right now? Sorry, the salad needs a dressing, which they gave. Very nice. The avocado dish. Getting avocado on a flight is still such a rare luxury. 7.5 out of 10. And finally this carrot, which sounded amazing on the menu. 8 out of 10. So we have some solid options, with the special meal ones being in the lead. So my main course is a beautiful looking Indian dish, which seems appropriate given where we're heading. Let me dig in. This looks lovely, and I'm so relieved it's not a huge portion. By the way, you want to know how adjustable this table is? I can shoot it all the way away so I can easily leave and use the bathroom, or I can pull it all the way toward me like this. This is how adjustable all tables should be, so you can easily move around and be free. The crew is just absolutely lovely today. The flight attendant taking care of me brought me some ginger to have with my water, which is so fun. And then, am I a Karen? So fun. But I have to say, the pretzels. Lufthansa. If you fly Lufthansa without eating pretzels, you are missing out. And finally, it is time for dessert. Ooh, nice and soft. Yeah, nice. I'm so full now. It's lucky we have a while to go because I wouldn't be able to walk from the aircraft. I've had so much food. I had those same appetizers and that same dessert on my previous Lufthansa first class flight about 18 or 19 months ago from Munich to Boston on the A380. And then, if I recall correctly, I didn't like them so much. So there's 2 or 3 scenarios here. One is that my standards have gone down. The other scenario is that the quality of the food has gone up, at least today, or it's a combination of both. So we have so much to see with so little time. Let's speed run through the amenities a little bit. First of all, best slippers in the sky, period. The amenity kit being a limited edition collectible for the Allegris launch makes my AvGeek heart melt. I will protect this kit with my life. The contents are as great as you'd expect in Lufthansa first class. So there is a first for everything. We are now officially in 2025 because this is the first time an airline has ever given me wireless headphones. These are Sennheiser headphones. Incredibly premium and so exciting. This means we have Bluetooth audio, so you could also connect your AirPods or whatever wireless headphones you have directly to the entertainment screen. Note that these are not yours to keep as much as I wish they were. Well, this most certainly was not on my 2025 bingo card. Lufthansa one-upping Emirates when it comes to in-flight exterior cameras on the A350. This is so cool. You have to see this. Camera views on both sides of the aircraft. This is too much. To think some airlines opted not to install a single camera on their A350s as a cost-saving method, and here we have Lufthansa with 5. The world really is upside down right now. Other than that, there are some technical challenges, shall we say. The 40-inch screen is touch responsive, but it's too far away to reach, so you need to use this tablet, except the tablet doesn't actually control everything on the screen. For example, you can't get the exterior cameras to display on the big screen from the tablet. You need to walk up to the screen and navigate to the cameras manually. You also can't use the tablet for anything else like maps or browsing the entertainment while the exterior cameras are showing on the big monitor. There is so much more you can do with this tablet, including adjusting all the lighting and the temperature in your suite. This is the level of custom that makes an experience truly next level. Also, at our seat during boarding, you might have seen we were given this little mysterious package which contains a Lufthansa guidebook for Bangalore. Now, before I discuss the bed, I just need to say something. Wow, I'm just so happy this seat exists now. It's real, it's flying. You can fly it, I can fly it. Well, if we had the money to spend on this every single flight, but yeah, what a treat and what an advancement. How far has aviation come in just a decade since Lufthansa was flying their old first class, which is still around on most of their aircraft. It's still incredible, but to think this is where we are now, is just unbelievable, especially for an airline like Lufthansa to have a seat like this. You know, first class has gradually been disappearing from aviation. Fewer and fewer airlines offer it with fewer seats per aircraft. So at least to know that there will be first class around for decades to come with fantastic seats like this is just so exciting. Waiting at our seat upon boarding, you would have seen these pillows, one soft and one firm. Those are used as the crew prepare the bed. Well, I'm actually worried I cannot convey how amazing this bed looks on camera because of the dimensions and the light right now, but oh my gosh. Oh, don't worry, I'm changing into pajamas in a minute. I just have to... Oh my gosh. So in terms of the first class beds I've been lucky to experience, I don't think I ever recall being in one that's this wide for just one seat. This is almost a queen size bed. So comfortable with the door. It's so private. I'm anxious because I know I won't be able to fly this again anytime soon. I feel incredibly grateful I got to fly it once, but wow, what a treat. I should mention that this is definitely more Asian style firmness than European style. Far more firm than Lufthansa's previous bed, if I remember correctly, which is an interesting development. And by the way, quickly, you might be able to see that I'm inching oh so close to 1 million subscribers after having this YouTube channel for over 15 years. So if you haven't already, it would mean the absolute world to me if you just hit that subscribe button. It takes a second, it's free, and what a milestone you'll be helping me reach. So thank you. Now let's bring it to the runway. Pajamas time. Check this out. If you've seen any of the Lufthansa Allegris ads on social media, these are probably not the pajamas you expected to see. These are not the ones I expected to get, because there they show these really cool ones that are like blue with almost a cloud pattern, if I remember correctly. They look really awesome. This is not bad either. This is Porsche design, so not gonna complain, but those pajamas in the ads look even cooler. If you think I'm wasting a second of this flight sleeping, you are sorely mistaken, my friend. Grab your pajamas, it is time to work. There's free Wi-Fi, which I use to stay connected while I work on this video from bed. Now, apparently, Lufthansa can make oat milk masala chai. Now it's walking. I also order some other random Ayurvedic tea, which is almost equally delicious. Between Element and all these drinks, I have never been so hydrated. I probably end up going to the toilet 10 times on this flight, so thank goodness I have it to myself. Also, what an absolutely lovely lavatory this is. Fake marble countertops, a foot pedal for the trash, wet wipes, towels for drying your hands, and all types of amenities, some of which I know are extremely expensive. Oh, and spray-on deodorant. Lufthansa dropping subtle hints to its passengers with this one. Okay, I just came out as a YouTuber to the crew because obviously they've been wondering what I've been doing all flight, recording, talking to myself, and they were so kind and sweet not to want to ask or disturb. I finally said the purser came by to ask for feedback on the seat, and I said I'm gonna give some specific details and show some stuff in a YouTube video I'm making, and they're like, what? So now they've offered to go prepare some of the other food to show on the video, which I initially wasn't gonna ask them to do, but they were kind enough to offer, so let's see what they come up with. So obviously this is the caviar, Lufthansa's famous caviar service with champagne, and I'm not gonna eat it, so I begged the crew, I said, please, if you're gonna do this, just do me a favor, and one of you, please eat it, please. That will make me happy so it doesn't go to waste. So I don't know, I hope they do. I don't know if they're allowed. Very nice of them to give me and you guys a little preview of the most luxurious meal item on board. Now, for my actual pre-landing meal, I'm served 2 appetizers this time. Lufthansa went hard with the food quantity today. I can barely move as it is. Based on my expression, you can see that one of these is delish, very Nordic tasting actually, and the one on the right is less delish. For the main, plant-based moussaka with non-dairy bechamel and soy mince. Wow, this is impressive. Let's see how it tastes. It could either be Ryanair lasagna or something incredible. Not bad. Remember what Air France served me as the pre-landing meal on my La Première flight last year? It is time to be sad, but also to answer so many of your questions. How much did I pay? What happened to the other passengers? What was my actual kind of negative first impression of this cabin? Welcome to Bangalore, guys. Let me explain. Good morning. It's the next day. I just have to say, I woke up feeling absolutely mind blown by the experience I had yesterday. I'm looking at photos and I'm like, this is so aesthetic. I cannot believe this is real. And I just feel so incredibly grateful I was able to have this experience. Thanks to you watching this video. By doing that, supporting me and my channel. You know, the second first class flight I ever took just as I was trying to figure out how to maximize points to redeem for first class products as a 19-year-old was Lufthansa first class from Frankfurt to Bangalore. I was alone in the nose of the 747-8. It was my first ever viral video. So to think here I am 8 years later being one of the first people to experience Lufthansa's brand new first class. The fact is coming so full circle from me back then not even being able to afford a hotel when I landed in Bangalore. So I slept on like some couch in the airport before my layover to now 8 years later taking this flight on a ticket that I paid, drumroll, $3,150 for, which is a crazy amount. But ironically, it's actually more than 50% off the price that you'd get if you just search Munich to Bangalore, for example. With over 15 years of reviewing airlines, I've become an expert of finding the cheapest cash fares from different markets. So I've compiled a completely free guide that I've already sent out to everyone on my Points Master mailing list. But if you're not on that and you haven't requested my Points Master starter program before, you can scan the QR code right here or tap the link in the description below where you'll be taken to download that free guide just by entering your email, where I share all the cities around the world that you should know about that offer the cheapest flights, especially in premium cabins. Now let's get to the Lufthansa Allegris first class tea, because there's a few things I didn't want to share earlier in the video. First of all, why did I end up being the only passenger on board? For some reason, the crew told me that these first few weeks as the product is being introduced, after one person books a seat, the entire cabin is being blocked by the airline. I guess this is for crew training reasons to make sure everything works well before they fill up the cabin more. My first impression, which I didn't want to share earlier in the video because I very quickly got over it, was that there was something that just felt a little off about the cabin. And I realized very quickly what it was. It feels like the seats have just sort of been plonked down there, but they don't really belong there, because if you looked at the ceiling and the way that things were designed with the pilot crew rest extending 2/3 of the way over the center seat, the curtain railings being a bit out of place, everything with the surrounding in the cabin, if you disregard the seats, felt like it wasn't made with those seats and with that cabin in mind. Ultimately, that's not a big deal because the seat is absolutely incredible. It is definitely one of the best first class seats I've ever been lucky enough to try, and combining that with the absolutely fantastic 10 out of 10 proactive, caring, loving service from the amazing crew, who I just have to thank so much for such a lovely experience, and combining it with the amazing catering I had on this flight, adding in the fantastic amenities, this was really one of the best flights of my life, and I cannot believe I'm saying that about Lufthansa in 2025. So Lufthansa, hats off. You've done a great job, and I cannot wait to hopefully one day fly Lufthansa Allegris first class again. So on that note, thank you for joining me in this video, and until I see you in the next one, if you've subscribed, that is, ding ding ding, as always, fly safe.